All right, welcome back to Central Valley Talk. I'm Mike Scott. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today. We have had a packed show so far, and we continue now with Albert Rivera from CD Simonian Insurance, and he wants to talk today about recall insurance, which I've never heard of before.
Yeah, product recall.
Product recall insurance.
Yeah, it happens quite often, especially in the ag industry. You put out a product and all of a sudden you find out that it got contaminated by some unforeseen reason and you have to recall the product, That gets very expensive, because now they have to pay for repackaging new product and putting out new product, the contaminated product, getting it off the shelves. So that gets very costly, Now they have to maybe pay employees extra for overtime because of the additional time it's going to take to repackage new product, things like that. Sometimes you come across situations where maybe you have a final product and one of the ingredients of your final product was contaminated or was mislabeled or in any way was affected, and now you have to recall your product. So it actually is a very expensive type of claim that comes across.
Now, that coverage isn't included in a normal insurance policy?
Exactly. It's a very specific, it's called product recall coverage or product recall insurance. Oh. And, and it is something that happens quite often, that you could also have someone that tampers with your product. There was I remember a claim where some small pieces of cement fell into a batch of meat for some tacos, and it cost the company millions of dollars worth of recall. There was a claim from Costco. There was some mislabeled bacon, 54,000 pounds of bacon. That was about $415,000 for a claim. So it gets very expensive, and not to mention the adverse effect that has for the name of your product.
The damage to your company's name.
Right.
I'm just curious, how do you mislabel bacon?
You know what? I know.
Bacon is bacon.
Well, but here's the thing. It's not necessarily that you've mislabeled the product. Maybe some of the ingredients within the products can be mislabeled, okay? Sometimes you come across situations where, let's say you have a product and you've sold that product as is for many, many years without a problem. But then all of a sudden, maybe the FDA has gotten some new studies and they've discovered that a particular ingredient, is hazardous for our health, and it just so happens that it's one of the ingredients of your product. And now all of a sudden, just so that you can comply with government, guidelines, now all of a sudden you have to alter your recipe and then recall products, and so that gets very pricey very quickly.
Do you find your clients are receptive to this idea of buying this insurance?
Yes and no. When you come across a client that has dealt with that in the past,
they want the policy.
Exactly. Then all of a sudden they say you're preaching to the choir. They know exactly what it involves. But if you have a newer manufacturer, they've never come across that situation, they might be a little reluctant at first. But then all it takes is for you to show them some data that shows what the outcome could be and how much it can cost them in a negative claim regarding a product recall. And then they start listening. They go like, you have my attention, and they're more receptive to that. But
and it's not just the food industry, right? Any business can be hit by a product recall.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, remember years ago when Tylenol had a huge recall, that caused a tremendous dip in their stock value.
But that was someone tampering with the product, though.
Right. But even if you don't tamper, if it's something accidental, and here's something that happens also quite often. Sometimes it's the public that is responsible for the recall. Some people they're more savvy when it comes to looking at what a product it has, the ingredients, and then all of a sudden they discover something and they bring it to a manufacturer's or some kind of support group's attention, and that could be a triggering factor for a recall claim. So the vehicle, the car industry, they deal with recalls all the time. If something is faulty and the insurance and the manufacturer finds out about it, then they have to send out these massive recalls, and you get something in the mail saying, bring your car to your local, Toyota or whatever dealer, because we found some kind of malfunction on a little piece of metal in this piece of electronic, whatever. But yeah, recall claims can be quite costly.
Recalls can run into millions of dollars. So
Yeah.
what does the policy, are the policies extremely expensive to buy?
In comparison to the return, no. Because again, if you're looking at a loss that is in the millions of dollars, then no, it's not that expensive. You do have you have to remember that when it comes down to a recall claim, you can have loss of income for many months, because of, again, the damage that was caused to the reputation of the business. Just to give you an example, Target, when they had the massive claim that had to do with the security breach,
Right.
How much money did it cost them to regain the public's trust? So those kind of things make it economical in the long run when you look at the possible losses that you can have in your business,
Okay.
if you don't have that type of coverage.
So folks can contact you at CD Simonian if they want
CD
information?
Simonian, right here in the Central Valley in Fowler, California, 559-834-5333.
And are you online also?
Online, www.cdsimonian.com. And not just for recall insurance, any type
Any
of
kind of
insurance.
insurance.
Oh, yeah. Health insurance, life insurance, renter's insurance, for your car, for your home, anything that you need, we can take good care of you.
Awesome. Albert, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you, Mr.
Albert
Scott.
Rivera, CD Simonian Insurance, right here on Central Valley Talk.